Welcome to the Utah Football Fans Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, go Utes. All right, Utah fans, we had to get on here. Emergency podcast, emergency. James couldn't join us tonight, but we had to get on here and just give our reactions to this news from the weekend. So if you've been living under a rock, Colorado is leaving the Pac-12. They're going to the Big 12. And that's basically what we know right now, but we've had a lot of reactions. Every other fan in the Pac-12 has had a lot of reactions. So I don't know, Gary, what was your first reaction hearing the news?
Well, let me say this. I had some reactions, but hey, the sun came up this morning. There's my reaction. How about that?
Okay. Oh,
everyone all over social media is freaking out. I guess what I would remind everybody, particularly Ute fans, even or the Pac-12, is we still have this season to play. So what has happened, or what happened yesterday with Colorado and all this other crap, which we're going to talk about, has no effect really on this season and the great season that is before us. The Pac-12, as it is for this year, has some of the top teams in the nation, top quarterbacks in the nation, and teams that will be vying to get into the playoffs. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to in this season. So all of this really sort of aggravates me because it's got in the way of a very promising season where we're at. So that's where I'm at it. And the fact is, from the perspective of Utah, we're trying to do something that has never been done in the Pac-12, and that's three-peat. So that's in our sight. And so it's football in the field. I don't want to lose that. The big games we got Florida, we've got Baylor, USC, Washington, Oregon State. I mean, so all of that, I'm excited about it. And I sort of ticked off that the excitement of that's been muffled a little bit, but I'm not naive either for the long-term effect of this. So that's my initial thought, but I will say this, and then I'll let you, whatever. My initial thought, then I got a bunch of other stuff to say, believe me, but I'm going to give props to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have kicked the Pac-12's butt.
Yep.
In everything.
Yep. That's
just the fact. With their rookie commissioner, they got the media deal, Colorado, whatever, but we've lost people. So I give them props for their aggressiveness. And I think they have a long-term view and vision that I don't think maybe some of our guys have. And so, hey, it is what it is. Now, I'll say this about Kliavkoff, whatever his name is, freak, man. It's, I know everyone's getting on Larry Scott. Okay, he deserves a lot of, a lot.
Oh, wow.
However, Kliavkoff's been on the job for 2 years. So he's not scot-free at all on this. He's allowed stuff to happen. Under his watch, we've lost 3 teams and have no media deal. That's reality.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioning the Big 12 commissioner, and I listened to his interview last week that he did with Joel Klatt. And as I was listening to him, he mentioned a couple times, like, I'm a first-year commissioner, I'm a rookie commissioner, so I kind of understand my place with that. And as I was listening to his interview, I thought, oh, this guy's kind of nobody. I mean, who is he? And then, like you've said, I mean, he has eclipsed everybody. And he was in the same position that Kliavkoff was in, where Big 12 lost 2 of their big-time program teams. And while the Pac-12 has been sitting around whatever, twiddling our thumbs, Big 12 went out and made things happen. And we have tried to be I know I have tried to be very positive over the last few months with all of this media deal talk, and we've tried to say, like, whatever's going to happen, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. After what happened yesterday, I can absolutely say I don't feel that way anymore. I'm pissed. I'm any of those positive feelings that I had that was maybe they were going to have a good media deal, all that's out the window. And I'll be very honest in saying that I don't believe that anymore. I think, and a lot of that has to do with the Pac-12's statement they put out last night, which basically was just a reiteration of exactly what they said during media days last week, which you can't act like things are the same. You can't just come out and say we're being patient, it's going to pay off. No, you can't say that anymore because things have imploded and exploded, and you can't just keep giving us that line anymore. It's not. So it makes me lose all faith in what they've been telling us. I don't know. I'm very down on the Pac-12 right now. I'll be very honest about that.
Well, here's the truth. Does anyone in their right brain think that realignment is done?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
So this Colorado thing, if Utah and the Pac-12 were surprised that this happened, then they're idiots, because there's plenty of, I don't know, some people I watch and listen to, they knew this was coming. So
right.
if we were blindsided, they're idiots. So right. Either they either lied to us in the Pac-12 media day, or they knew it, or they didn't know it. So I'm not sure what's worse, but it's bad. But realignment is going to continue. Now, here's my view, and I think if we're honest, that the aim in college football is some mega conferences. I know this has been talked about, but that is the goal. Either you're going to have 2 or 3 mega conferences, and it's going to be governed by some sort of governing board, which is not the NCAA. It'll be, maybe the SEC will spearhead it or be at the head of it, the Big Ten, and I don't know, but that's where it's going, are these mega conferences. And if Utah, speaking for Utah, if we're not honest about that or have that assessment, we're going to be left behind, because this is where it's going, and we have to acknowledge it and get selfish for Utah, not a bunch of these other people. I mean, I'm with you. I don't. There was a time I watched the Pac-12 media day, and Harlan, I listened to him a couple times. I don't trust it. I don't trust a thing they say anymore.
No.
You cannot trust anything, because who knows what's going on behind closed doors. The media deal. No, I don't believe anybody anymore. I mean, they could be talking, they could get together and say, yeah, I'm all in. Next day, so-and-so has left the conference. So, I mean, I think that's where we're at. I agree, use the word, and I'll just reiterate it. This is how I see it. Yes, I see the conference is imploding. And you can't be honest. We're not living in fairyland. This is what's happening. It's imploding. Can it survive? There's only a thin margin, in my view. Anyway, I got more to say. Got anything on that?
Well, I mean, I feel like I've had so many thoughts over the last 2 days, but you're right. And again, when they stand up there at media day and say, every team, we're all in this together. Well, that was a bold-faced lie, because from what's come out, Colorado kept going to them and saying, we need the deal, we need the deal, we need the deal. And they just kept like pushing them down the road. So obviously Colorado wasn't in with them. They
knew it, though. I think they knew it.
Exactly. They had to know that Colorado was pushing back against this and saying, look, either you get this done or we're out of here. So that's what I mean when I don't trust anything they say anymore, because I think in my personal opinion, they have been flat out lying to us. I think this media deal, I am extremely concerned that there is no media deal, that because again, listening to some of the national experts, Joel Klatt, again, who I very much respect, talked about the fact that there's only so much money to go around. And basically it was the Big 12 and the Pac 12 were both competing for that last little bit of the money, and the Big 12 jumped ahead and took it. Congrats to them. I mean, they eclipsed us, they jumped us, they did everything they needed to do, while Pac 12 has been sitting on its hands for the last 2 years, not doing anything, is what it feels like. So
I agree.
Where Utah's going to go, I have no idea. I hate this feeling. I hate this feeling of the Pac 12 going away. I think that's extremely sad. I think it's so sad to think of what used to be a storied, respected conference. I mean, the days when, before Utah was in the Pac 12, when USC was winning those national championships and things like that, the Pac 12 was respected. And it's sad to see that what's happened in the last 10, 12 years. And now who knows what, because it's been poor leadership. I don't, it's sad.
Yeah, it's poor leadership from the commission right through the presidents of the universities.
Yeah.
They can't get off the hook. And athletic directors. I mean, here's where I'm at. The only way the conference survives as a power conference, legitimate power conference, is if, say, the teams that are in the conference right now, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Oregon State, who am I missing? Arizona schools, if they were truly committed to staying and working this out, and if we got a good, not an excellent, but a good media deal, we can survive. But here's where I'm at. That isn't going to happen. I'm with you that I don't think we're going to get a decent media deal. We had our shot and the Big 12 beat us. Do I think that Oregon and Washington are not going to bolt in the next couple of years? I know the Big Ten is saying, yeah, we're not adding right now. They always put the little disclaimer, right now. There's no way. It goes back to what I said earlier, that the intention, if you zoom out of everything, if you're when you're flying over the country and you look out of your seat out of the window and you look down on the landscape, you see these lush fields, sort of lush fields, and then these dry or almost dead fields. Oh, it's kind of interesting to watch. This is how I see the landscape of college football. This altitude, I'm looking down, and you've got the SEC, green and lush, as is the Big Ten. You've got the Big 12, not quite there, but it's looking pretty good. The ACC, I don't know a lot, but I think they're better. Then you look at the Pac-12 from this macro view. A little green there, but a lot of dry brush, and it's ready to go. And I don't think we're going to get the media deal, and I don't think we're a decent one that's worth anything now. Maybe I was wishful thinking, but we're not going to get it. It's too late in the game, and other teams are going to bolt. And so, having said all that, so what is Utah? Well, here's my view. Yeah, I think Utah is okay because Utah in the Rocky Mountain area has a brand, and we've been successful beyond even football, and it's a great academic institution, all of those things that would add to any conference right now. But it feels to me that the train is leaving the station to create these mega conferences in the near future and a new playoff system. I know we're changing it, but in 2 years, we're renegotiating that. I just think these things are coming, and if Utah waits too long and is not aggressive for ourselves, I think that's where it becomes dangerous. if we try to hold on to the freaking ship, if that deal comes back as garbage, which I think it probably is going to be, and if a team leaves and we start hanging on to the bow of, the ship's in the water and the bow's hanging out and you're out of the water and you're hanging on to it. Yeah, let's save the ship. Well, we're out of our minds. To me, I think we need to look forward thinking, and I hate to say it, but I just don't think it's more than just uncertain. I think it's in a bad spot. So we have got to make the move in our own interest, or make moves in our own interest.
Yeah, it's got to be every man for himself. I mean, that's what Colorado did. It's like, I can't knock them for doing it.
Absolutely not.
I think it sucks, but from everything I've read, like we talked about before, where they kept going to the Pac-12 and saying, look, we got to have numbers. We actually need to have a deal. Otherwise, we're out of here. So they were looking out for themselves, and they said, we wanted the stability, and they're in a better spot than we are right now. I mean, that's just
everything's money.
Yeah,
we got to be honest about it. So it's all driven by money. If you looked at Colorado, just as there's on the football field, basketball hasn't been that great. On the football field, I don't think they've had in the last 13 years 2 winning seasons. They've been garbage.
Yeah.
You got to give them props for what has happened within a year. They were 1-11, probably one of the worst teams in all of college football. So why would the Big 12 want them? Well, think what's gone on. They get Coach Prime to come over, and with all his hype and change and excitement, they've leveraged that. They've had some other successes, and the Big 12, they go get this big media deal. And of course, Boulder and in the Colorado market. And of course, they're going back home. That's part of Colorado. But you got to give Colorado props, because they've really been terrible, but they fill a spot in the Big 12, and the Big 12 wants them. And there's all this hype for the future, which we'll see how it plays out. And they get the full money. See, that's why not Bolt? If you've been negotiating,
right.
And this is probably one of the biggest parts of it. You've been negotiating with the Big 12, behind the doors. Hopefully we are doing that. Who knows? And the Big 12 goes, yeah, man, if you come on over, we'll give you full amount. Unlike these new schools that just came into the league, they don't get the full amount. But if you come, I think that's right. But if you come, we give you the full distribution of money. And then you have the Pac-12 over here going, well, we don't even have a deal. Just be patient, just wait, and we'll see. And even if we get a deal, it's not even going to be the same money that Colorado's going to get. So they're freak, man. They jumped. Absolutely, they jumped. They jumped into a league that's aggressive, and they have the vision of the future. So yeah, they were smart to take it. Utah needs to, I don't know. Utah needs to, maybe they are. We just don't know about it, but they need to be, or it could be. That's what scared me most of all.
Well, right, because it's pretty clear that the Big 12 is going to add one more team. For sure, add one more team, because they want to be at 14 after Texas and Oklahoma leave. Oklahoma State? Oklahoma. I'm all messed up.
Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma are gone.
Yeah. So the Big 12 for sure is going to add one more team. Whether it's more than that, who knows? Like you said, Big 10 has basically said we're not going to add anyone else right now. But again, I don't believe anything that's being said anymore.
That's I don't believe any of that.
And this isn't over. And that is what it's this uneasy feeling, which, I mean, as Utah fans, we've enjoyed over the last 10 years seeing our program build and build and build something amazing. And we really enjoyed Pac-12 and all that came with it. And now sitting in this space where we don't know what's next, it's an awful feeling.
Here's another part of this puzzle is, I think if we're all honest about it, is I do believe there's a number of schools particularly West Coast schools, a few of them anyway, I don't think their presidents give a crap about sports and athletics. It's all academics.
Yeah.
If the football is no good, I don't think they care. Well, you compare that to, the Big 12, but you compare to the Big 10 and the SEC, where everybody is football and let's win. That's why where we're at. I just think there's been a number of presidents who don't really give a crap. Now, the other thing is, if you've been to a Cal game lately, nobody's there. You've been to Stanford lately? Nobody's there. You go to UCLA. Now, this is television market. This is the money. But if you go to a game, maybe 20%. Even the Coliseum. Now, they're getting better and they get a lot of people, but they don't sell it out like they used to. I'm just saying the interest out here in the West Coast, it has been diminishing. And with terrible leadership, here we are. And Utah right now has a good brand and everyone knows it. Good fan base, great student section, the must, come on. Back-to-back champs. Now, is this correct? If I remember, when we lost, was it 4 years ago? Not the COVID year, when we played Oregon and we lost, and
Okay.
Oregon went. If we would have won that game, we would have been in the I think the college playoffs. I think we were ranked at that time. Someone will correct me, but I think that's correct. I just think we forget that our record at that point, that if we would have won that game, we had a good shot at the playoff, and we lost. So I'm just saying, people are trying to make fun of us and are stupid. But no, the iron's hot, man. I feel like use it the best we can.
Right. Well, that's just where we are at, Utah fans. I don't know. I think everyone's all over the map. Again, we felt very positively after media days. We had our episode earlier this week where we talked about it and we all felt positive, and now
we got reamed.
I'm completely switched. That's just where we're at. Obviously things are going to keep happening, and we'll keep giving we don't have any insight. We don't have any insider info. We don't have any sources telling us anything.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I don't know. We'll keep hopping on here, at least giving our thoughts from a fan perspective. This is where we're at.
Can I just add a couple things?
Yeah.
Add one thing and reiterate one thing. If you're on social media, particularly Twitter, Ute fans and anybody with a brain, common sense fans, disregard the Zuby nut jobs that are all over that place. Okay, they're crazy. A completely insignificant operation and program who's ranked to be number 11 in their conference this year is talking trash.
A lot of trash.
Disregard it. And so it's not only just these nut jobs. Have fun with them, Big 12. But there's like these crossbreeds of Zoobs, and then they're fans of another team. We have a couple of guys that are always talking trash, who's a USC fan and a Zoob fan. There was a Texas Zoob fan. I just noticed that most of the nut jobbery that we get are from the Zoobs, or they're connected somehow to them. So just disregard it. It's a joke. Baby brother's trying to, it's stupid. Disregard it. But I would just finally say, hey, we got a great season ahead of us here. I'm excited about that. Don't let this get in the way yet. It's a concern. Keep the faith. I think it'll work out personally. I think we're going to be good in the long run. But this year, man, this is some good football.
Right. All right. Keep your focus on that. Okay.
Go Utes. I like my shades, man.
I know. He kept his cool guy shades on the whole time. Go Utes.
Go Utes.